Okay, let's see what's happening today. So last night, last thing they did was prepare this corner ready for rendering. They always do that first. They always put this edge on. They don't use metal in this country like we do in Europe to form an edge. They do it manually, just with the mix. That gives them a set depth, which I must check because I need to know about that for when we do the house, for things like the bathroom. So they've prepared the edge there as well. Obviously it will go up to the door. Around this side they're busy rendering. So it won't take them very long to render this and do the other side. They were able basically to do a whole length of the wall, 20 metres on one side. About 3 metres high, so they were able to do 60 metres in one day. So this probably, both sides, will take them half a day. We're still putting water down as much as we can when the water's actually on. Here in this village they have a big sort of lake reservoir for the village. It's not really run by the water authority, but the problem is that the village has to pump the water out and up into a tower, I think, to supply the village. And for about a year the pump was broken and they didn't have any money to fix it, and they couldn't get any money from central government, so everybody was having to order water in tankers. Or someone had a tank in the back of their pickup and they would go to the lake and pump it in there and then sell it to people. Even now they've got the pump fixed, they only turn the water on for a couple of hours in the morning and a couple of hours in the evening normally. I don't know why, I don't see really what they're saving. Minimal amount of electricity. At the end of the day, if people need water, they're either going to store it in a tank or they're going to use it live from the pumped supply, so no one's going to change their consumption habit. Anyway, that's an aside. That's part of Thai village rural living, really, these little problems. Electricity going off and water going off. We're adding water to these holes every day. The water's going down slowly. So St Therese happy that if there's any need for any settlement under this area here where the house will be, it will happen gradually, and it's all to the good, really, that the water's getting down into the ground and maybe making it settle slowly. I think we'd be more concerned if there's a massive sort of collapse in the middle. So we'd be unsure as to how many other pockets of air there are. So this is looking a bit like the moon surface at the moment, with lots of craters. And we've got a few weeks before the build starts, one way or the other. A couple of weeks either before this team start or another plan comes into fruition. I'm going to say it again, when I say things are going to happen here, that's my expectation, my hope. If you see on a subsequent video that it's different to what I said, then my apologies, but that's how it is. Last night we went out and we bought a welding machine and a metal cutter. a disc cutter so that these guys can do our metal roof. Swaddy cup. It's the end of the day. I've been at the other house for most of the afternoon editing videos because there really wasn't much activity here. I've come along now just to check what's been completed and to be here when the water starts to be pumped again so we can get water onto the land. So they've finished off these walls now, they've smoothed them off, they've wiped the mess away from the frame and made a little decorative line around the frame. Looks to me like someone's cut themselves because I can see blood on the wall over there. There's some that's still not been finished in here. The guy who's going to do the tiling is actually doing the finishing in here. So he's been working on this on his own, so he's spent his whole day making this wall come out quite a bit actually, which was for me was creating an issue with the fitment of the toilet, and in particular. So I'll tell you a little story. Oh, it's a bit dark in here, isn't it? Let me come out. I'll tell you a little story. I measured up when I bought the toilet. First of all, the pipes came through the wall and I just set them up roughly where I thought they would be okay for fitting the toilet and the basin, knowing that we would have to do some tiling and some sort of rendering behind the tiles. And I think, as I said on another video, I was sort of guessing really. I was just trying to work out myself how to work out where to put them safely. Anyway, it was all going fine until the guy started rendering this wall behind where the toilet's going to go really, really thick. And I said, oh, I think that's a bit thick. And I showed him that we needed the centre of the toilet pipe to be 26 centimetres from the tile face. So he understood that, and we were about 3 centimetres too thick. But it meant that the render would have to be really thin, almost non-existent frankly. You'd have to probably tile directly onto the blocks to get that right distance. And we were limited as to how far back the blocks could go because I wanted to put the pipes in the gap between the two walls, and there literally was no space left. Those pipes go in tight, so we didn't have a lot of choice over this. Anyway, I decided to set the toilet up against this wall here to do a proper example of what I was talking about to him, so he understood. And so I set the toilet up, and the centre of the waste pipe is directly in line with the two fixing holes, so you can, that's deliberate I think, so that you can actually understand where your your waste pipe exit is when you're actually fitting the toilet. So then I put the whole thing together, stood it up against that wall and took a measurement. Oh my god, it was 29 centimetres, not 26. I don't know what happened there. I thought I was really careful measuring the bits when we first bought them, although I didn't set them up against a wall. What I did was set them up outside and just took a measurement. I can't remember exactly how I did it now. I didn't do it the same anyway. So we're now faced with a wall that's 3 centimetres too thick anyway, and an extra 3 centimetres that I hadn't accounted for. Basically, it means that the toilet waste pipe is right on the very edge of the 4-inch pipe, blue pipe that goes into the ground, and that's buried in concrete and can't be extended because it goes through the wall. Now this is just an aside to the building. In the evening we're back at Sunteray's current house, and this fellow's taken to give us a visit.